You're listening to the voice of IWA Flip here on Interfed Radio. Welcome to Living Nightmares After Hour. With me in studios, as always, Commissioner Scott Anderson. Commissioner, welcome.
Hey, thanks. How's it going?
Yeah, April, huh? It feels like December.
Yes.
Oh, man, this year's flying, man.
Indeed.
Yeah. Now, we had a big one last cycle.
We did. We had quite a bit going on.
And from the whispers I've heard, a lot of monsters running to the hills. What? Holy moly!
The action was, I don't want to say hot and heavy, but it was violent and malicious.
Yes, it was. Yeah, no, I mean, and now this is the Commissioner show, so we're going to go ahead and start with that front page that kind of set the tone for what was happening at Dead by Dawn.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Living Nightmare League number 52. Nightmare champ Darth Ikari. Paranormal champ Sawtooth. Amityville champ Michael Myers. Crystal Lake champ from the Battle Royal Sinister Bagul. Elm Street champion Darth Akuma. Black Lagoon champion from the Battle Royal. Oh man, this guy, Dr. Frankenstein. Camp Arwalk champion, the Patient Z. Transylvania champion, Darth Yodu. Haunted Hill champion, oh yeah, baby, Wolfman Joe. Sleepy Hollow champion, Foxwoman Santana. Woohoo! Salem Law champion, them patients doing work. Patient X. And the Crypt champion, Timothy Goodnight. Apocalypse Tag Team Champion Timothy Goodnight and Wolfman Joe. Doomsday TV Champion Darth Yodu and Darth Ikari. Slaughterhouse Six-Man Champion Darth Yodu, Darth Jigoku, and Darth Ikari. And TV Nightmare Six-Man Champions Patient Z, Patient Y, and Patient X. Whew, man. Yeah, now that set the tone there for what was to come at Dead by Dawn, but I'll let you take it from here, Commissioner.
Yeah, definitely. So you will notice there are some stable initials for the April cycle. That's not a change in policy. Sometimes the IWA will include those during Stablecade. I think it's for their ease of access. So the wrestlers that you see with stable initials for the April cycle were entered into Stablecade probably then. So that's why it's a one cycle thing. It should be gone for May. Just FYI. I would mention Ikari had a $4.99, got edged for Fed title. Very close. Then also Ikari got almost a triple crown. Had Nightmare, then TV Tag, and Six-Man.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Euro, if that's how we're gonna say that. Darth Euro. Yeah.
Yodel?
You were better than I was. Also had what I would consider like a quote unquote junior triple crown with one singles, one tag, and one Six-Man. Always impressive. So yeah, lots of good stuff going on this cycle.
Yeah, it seems that they're getting a hold of getting a better grasp of their the force power of their force power.
For sure, agreed. Yeah, there's been a lot of Darths on the not only the singles but also the tag and Six-Man. So
nice. Now, obviously we had Dead by Dawn, and I think this is a good time as any to go over. I've mentioned this before on other shows early on, in terms of certain leagues having certain paces, and the pace in the LNL we've referred it to snail pace. It's lay back, like slow down. What's going on? Okay, we had Dead by Dawn. Like, wait for the results. Don't get, don't get overexcited. Like, okay, let's breathe.
Yeah, this is a good breathe cycle for sure.
Yeah. And especially this cycle with the way the IWA is screwballing.
Oh, I know,
Ah,
and I think I'm in the minority of people who, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I would prefer to do well than to do not well, but I think it's kind of interesting. I would like to see more times where we have kind of what we might consider like two overlapping ranges. Like 23 to 27 and then 26 to 30 or something.
yeah.
You know what
Now,
I mean? Like,
I heard mentioned throughout the interwebs, that it came quicker than normal, and
mm-hmm.
people were just a little bit like,
Caught
what's
off guard.
yeah, and sometimes I guess attribute that to activity because there are a lot of returning managers, so there's a lot
That's
more
right.
activity.
Yeah.
A lot more 501s probably means, hey, you know what, the game's way too saturated. We got to curveball it. That's just
Yeah. I do think that there's a lot of truth to that. It's just, we're just speculating, but the whatever, okay, so this would have been April cycle in particular had a lot of really high scores, which is great. It's wonderful, but I do think the IWA looks at that and goes, "All right, time for some curveballs cuz we need to mix it up." And yeah, what they've done the last few years, well, the last year and a half or so, there was a bump in January 2018, and then another bump in August, and then another bump in January. And so I think people were expecting, a 25 to go up or down again over the summer. But yeah, it happened this time. And not only did a 25 go down, but 26 or 27 went down. So we had two bump up and down. So it's just wild, and I will say, like just a little disclaimer, uh, Diamond did not do what I thought it was going to do, so I had a lot of 23s and 24s in my strats, so it was not the best cycle for me, but that's okay. It is
yeah,
kind of
no,
it is kind of it keeps it a little fresh. So
yeah. So beware because
yeah,
beyond the Living Nightmare League, there's even scarier nightmares with the IWA holds this
no
cycle.
doubt. So also full disclosure, I will mention before we move on. I posted a legitimate 477 in gold. Um,
Scored.
I'm like
Nice.
477. I thought it had to be a mistake. I'm like, the IWA messed up. I'm gonna total up my strat. Nope, 477.
Doing
I'm like,
doing big things there. Doing big.
I'm like, moving on.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was rough, but hey, you win some, you lose some. So what's going?
Now,
We're talking about the LNL, I think, right?
oh yeah, no, but before we go, like you said, too far over the rails or over the rainbow or over off tracks or whatever the hell they say, we forgot to mention the LNL commissioner champion. So
Yeah, let's do
gotta
that.
gotta get them their credit, man.
Let's do it.
Let's get our Terror Tag Team champions, Jason Voorhees 13 and Michael Myers, and they're in a title series versus. Oh no, this is one of the Dead by Dawn matches.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll keep ourselves. All right.
So they
Oh
did
yeah,
defend the titles. Yeah, we'll see the results. They did defend the titles.
we'll leave it at that. I like it. Okay, Colossal champion. I mean, just that face, man. Like, geez,
I get tired of seeing that face. Yeah.
Doctor Frankenstein.
I will say, it's not a pay-per-view match, so I will say Darth Akari did defeat Dr. Frankenstein to win the Colossal title. So
Oh no
Darth
way.
Akari Darth Akari will be the new champion this next cycle. So
Oh,
congrats
those.
to
Oh,
the
the Sith and the Force are trying to. Huh. That's interesting. Nice. Congratulations. Yeah, I didn't
Yep.
see that one coming. Anarchy champion, Bosco the Clown. Now this is another one of the Dead by Dawn matches, right?
Correct. Yeah, Fatal 4-Way. Yeah. So we'll see some of that in the. So no giveaways on who the Anarchy champion might be next cycle or this cycle, I suppose we would say.
Nice. Now, I hate to call a Call a duck or a chicken a goose, or what's the saying?
I'm not sure what saying you're referring.
You're like, I have no idea what Steve saying.
I'm drawing a blank there, but
man, Dr. Frankenstein is just running away with it, man. He's just come on, chickens in the NLL. Somebody better start doing some work around here. Who's that? Oh, wait a minute. This is the 18 and over show. That freaking pussycat, fucking RoboCat better start doing some work. My goodness. Jeez, man. I mean, he's, 3 times ahead of the next contestant.
Oh, yeah, for the rankings?
Oh, yeah. Now you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, man. So, yeah. So we're going to gang up on the Frankenstein guy, because if he made it out of Dead by Dawn alive, which we'll find out next time, but yeah.
Well, when you win if you win Nightmare and Elite and Metro, that's gonna bump you pretty fast to the top. So
that's what happened? He got one of the super majors, huh?
Yeah. So I mean, that was like 150 points in one cycle. Yeah.
Oh man.
So not bad.
And who is our? And Torgo's not. He's not due until December.
Right. Togo got 100 points in one cycle. Yes. But
dang it, Torgo! Come on, hit earlier. The way the IWA is screwing everybody. Come on, Torgo. Yes. Oh man.
Turn it on.
All right. You know what? I hate to say this, but we're coming after him personally now. We've we have to, because you know what? It's just he's just way too powerful. So if we don't get him, the hell with his patience. We're gonna go right after the bearded man.
The man in charge, huh?
Yeah, we have to, because the patients are tough, man. So now we got to find a way around them to get right to him, because my goodness. But congratulations, man. That's a nice little lead you got there. Nice little lead you got. But 6 man, the Sith, they're holding strong to that 6 man. So
yeah, the 6 man is very competitive right now. And speaking of 6 man, I don't think there's so much going on this cycle already. I'm not going to be announcing the 6-man tournament this cycle, but there's a good chance that I will be announcing a 6-man event next cycle. So in 54, I do think we're going to put that together. I do think it's wise to maybe not create another commissioner title at this point, but I do think having a 6-man event could be a lot of fun. So leaning towards a free event, so it'll just be something fun for us to do.
Nice. Now, since we're talking titles, and
yes,
again, I've got this comment from people in the past where like, hey, it's tough to go back and listen to all the shows, to catch up. Can we go over the titles and how they're defended? Just
sure. You mean the commish titles?
Oh yeah, because I think other people commissioning can benefit from just from the structure as to how the titles are defended. That's just one of those things that makes the Living Nightmare League unique in its own anyways. So just a good reminder.
Yeah. Definitely. So as you mentioned already, we only do it's a slow pace in the LNL. We really want to build those stories going into pay-per-views. There are 3 pay-per-views a year. And the Underworld, Anarchy, and Terror Tag are all defended on the pay-per-view. Something new that I've just started is the Anarchy title being defended one time in between pay-per-views. Kind of give that title a little more action. And so you'll see that. I'm guessing we'll talk about Terror Night's main event here in a minute.
Nice.
But then the Colossal title is kind of the those of you who are fans of WWF in the late 90s is kind of our hardcore type like 24/7 rule. The Colossal title is defended every cycle all the time against anybody. You don't have to mark your match. You just have to beat the champion by the most points. If you beat the champion by the most points, you win the Colossal title and you get 5 free matches. So,
now this title is also exclusive for those trash talking. Is that safe
correct.
to say?
Yes. Excellent point. Yeah, you do have to trash talk. If you don't trash talk, you're not winning it. Yes, correct.
And the trash talk doesn't have to necessarily be about the belt, just necessarily. I mean, it'd be nice to hear about the belt, but as long as you're participating in trash talk, you're eligible for it.
Correct. Yeah, definitely. Obviously, anytime you talk about the belts is good, but you definitely don't have to talk about any of the. Like, you don't have to talk about the Colossal title in order to challenge for and win the Colossal title, as long as you're trash talking.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
I like it. Structure, like I said, it just
a little something for everybody.
Yeah, and someone at work, told me, and they're like, "Man, you get into that," and I'm like, "It's like, yeah, it's a big game." It's like, to me, it's like, I hate to. I mean, I've heard it, kind of referred to it or compared to it, but it's kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons game where it's like you're here and thanks to the structure that you bring, Commissioner, it just allows this game to just you get unravel yourself in it because that the structure isn't gonna be gone the next cycle. It's gonna stay there. You can compete for something and get into it. Right. I guess what's the sink your nails, sink your teeth, or
yeah. Like you can really
I'm horrible with little sayings, man, but I'm like. But regardless, I mean, you
calling a duck a chicken. I know.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
A duck a chicken. It's all good. But yeah, you can get into it in that way. So,
what I would say, additionally, then for those who may be first-time listeners, generally the Underworld title, there's some kind of qualifying that is hard to win because obviously you're challenging for the biggest belt that we can offer. The Anarchy tends to also be a qualifier, but tends to be something that is, how would I say, more accessible. Like if maybe if you win a battle royal, then a couple of the battle royal winners will face each other, which is kind of what will happen for the Anarchy title in its next defense, right? So, anybody can win a battle royal, right? It can happen.
It's open for all.
Right. Now, it not to say that it's easy to win, but, on any given cycle, somebody can win a battle royal. So the Anarchy title tends to be something, in that mid-card range where it's a different way to challenge, and hopefully more people can get involved. We already talked about the Colossal title. And the Terror Tag tends to be something where if you're a tag team and you're a trash talker, I tend to put those people in qualifying. Like our last time we had a qualifying series. This time there's not going to be a series because we'll already have our number one contenders. But generally Terror Tag is something where you have to win, something, and that's more at my discretion who qualifies to attempt to challenge for those titles, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's. I think it's safe to say that we have a nice community of managers that enjoy this style, that enjoy this pace, and that like we've seen with the trash talk that we'll get into in the next show. It's like they're not afraid to go all in, and
not at all. Yeah, like full send, no half send here.
And that's the beauty of it. I mean, this is an 18 and over show and league, and the people respect that factor in a certain sense, because, like I said, you can get away with it, and there's a lot of it's what the thin line, and these people know how to thread that line beautifully.
Yeah, there are a couple things in this cycle alone that I had the thought, I'm like, this would not fly in very many other places. But it does in the LNL. LNL is doesn't sound very humble to say, but the LNL is very unique in that way. Like we know what we are, and the LNL offers this opportunity to really let loose in a way that is unavailable most other places.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, we've said it before in terms of know your place to play, and
Right.
if you're coming to the LNL, understand that yes, you might get your head chopped off, or other bodily or
Right.
other limbs.
Right.
But hey, just roll with the punches. It's the living nightmare league. Come back next week. With a limp. Come back
Right.
next week.
Exactly.
Sew yourself back together and keep fighting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
for sure. Definitely.
yeah.
So we'll get into the trash talk on the next one. Where are we at? Commissioner challenge?
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. So we went over the titles. We went over the rankings. The challenge. Yeah.
So this is the first challenge where we'll have 12 competitors.
Nice.
Yeah, bumping it up. I felt like we had enough active wrestlers to bump it up, and enough active wrestlers, but not only that, but enough active trash talkers
Nice.
to bump it up to 12. So
Now I
these
do see that we have some with a first round bye. Is that
correct. So with the 12, you have a few options, but what I elected to do was the top 4 point getters,
aha.
top 4 point achievers. I don't know how you would say that. Receive a first round bye, and then the 5th highest points to the 12th highest points qualify and have a first round match. So
Now, am I missing something here? Now, did you opt out of? Because I'm looking at the singles, and
yeah.
I'm seeing a different top four.
Oh, if you look, it's Dr. Frankenstein, Darth Jagotu, Catfish Rob, and Darth Akuma are the top 4. If you, I see what you're saying. Yeah, this is you raise an excellent point. The rankings that you see with like Dr. Frankenstein in first place is not this. Well, he is in first place in both, but there's the rankings for the year, and then there are rankings for the challenge. You see the rankings for the challenge underneath the tournament there.
Got it.
Yeah. So the rankings for the challenge, just because I'm a numbers guy and I love to do a ton of stats, I guess, are a little different. It's for 5 cycles only. You get 6 points for winning Nightmare or Paranormal, 5 points for trash talking, and 3 points for a regional.
Nice.
So that's how the determinations go for the challenge. So pretty much you are not getting in if you don't trash talk. It would be nearly impossible. Just to point it out, like the Squeaky made it in as the 12th seed with 26 points. You would have to win Paranormal or Nightmare all 5 cycles in order to beat that without trash talking. Right? So you have to trash talk in order to qualify for the challenge.
Yeah, oh man, yeah. You either that or be on point with
right, be on point 5 cycles in a row. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, structure.
Structure.
Nice.
So all that information is on that Commissioner Challenge page. Certainly, I welcome any questions if people have them. I do give the point totals for everyone, and so this will reset, right? Because these were tracked up until last cycle. So now the next Commissioner Challenge points will start to be tracked as this tournament takes place.
Nice.
So yeah, it's one of my
build. What is it? The reset button. Hit the. Let's go.
Exactly. So fresh opportunity. So now's a good time to get involved.
I mean, he hits, but not Hey, what's his name? Blade, Vampire Hunter.
Yes.
Oh man, that guy better. He better. Yeah. We'll save it for the trash talk because I'll go crazy again. My goodness. Oh, okay. So we had Dead by Dawn, but I said, we're saving that.
Correct.
We got a lot coming for Dead by Dawn.
Yeah. Yes, we do. So hopefully, hopefully it's a good review for everybody. Hopefully they enjoy it. It tends to be a lot of work, but I think it's important to do for the LNL, given the fact that we only have a few pay-per-views a year. I like to make each one feel very important. So thank you to anybody who has already or before the cycle drops submits any suggestions, notes, ideas, write-ups. That's all appreciated. But otherwise, I'll do my best to honor the contributions that people have made going in.
Nice.
Do we want to say who won the Dead by Dawn contest, or we want to wait for the bulletin? Do you think?
Oh my goodness! You're gonna drop that line this late in the show?
Okay, we'll wait. We'll wait.
Oh,
We'll wait. We'll leave everybody in suspense.
yeah, gave me a heart attack. Like, huh? What?
Sorry. Okay, we'll wait. We'll wait. It's cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm over here. I'm over here scrolling down already to Terror Night's main event. Then
yeah. Okay. So should I announce the card for Terror Night's main event?
Is it? Does it? Is it like?
Without
revealing
spoil anything from the pay-per-view.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that one.
Okay. So I am going to assign 4 matches for Terror Night's main event. The matches will occur on July 2nd, so 2 cycles from now. And I'll do it'll probably just be a results like so-and-so beat so-and-so, so-and-so beat so-and-so, with maybe at most 1 or 2 sentences. Everything else will be on managers to do in their trash talk. It's just a bridging event, right? So we talked about it pretty extensively the last couple of Tubecasts. It's just something to kind of bridge between pay-per-views. It's not something that we should make as big as a pay-per-view. It's just something to kind of feed the fire or fuel the fire, building the next pay-per-view.
It's the fries, the fries to your burger. The fries to your burger.
Exactly. Very well said. Yes, the fries to your burger. I thought we could sign a match between Jay Valick, who was our 2017 Wrestler of the Year, against Jigsaw as an opening contest. I thought that would be an interesting matchup. A veteran of the league and a newcomer to the league, both of which I would like to see maybe what they think about having that matchup. So maybe see if I can get them to send something in there. Hint. Then I also wanted to sign a tag match between Wolfman Joe and Foxwoman Santana against those dastardly sis of Darth Uru and Darth Akari. Thought that would be a good tag match. We'll get into the trash talk aspect on the next show, but I thought given what occurred this cycle and what occurs at Dead by Dawn, a tag match between these 4, as it were, these 4 monsters would be a good setup for what happens at the next pay-per-view.
Oh, I like
Sinister Bagul against Michael Myers. Again, we'll talk about trash talk on the next show. There's a reason I signed this particular match. Obviously, we know Sinister Bagul has been feuding with Jason Voorhees pretty heavily. And so Michael Myers being Jason's tag team partner, I thought this would be a cool match to put on this show. And then the main event is the Anarchy title match between the champion, whoever that may be. See, I didn't give any spoilers. Whoever that may be, against the winner of the number 1 contenders match that will take place this cycle between Jason Voorhees, Sinister Bagul, Wolfman Joe, Jigsaw, and Catfish Rob. So a fatal 5-way this cycle to determine who will face the Anarchy champion.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh man. Now we've said it before. I mean, the monsters are on the loose, and
Agreed.
like I said, I can't wait to see what happens after this pay-per-view. But leading up to it was crazy.
It was. There's a lot of action leading up to the pay-per-view.
I'm looking down on this. Is there anything else on this commissioner one that we? I mean, obviously we have the haunted grounds contest still going on. Like I said, I
Correct.
love the tracking.
Thank you. I think I'm getting into a groove with that, so hopefully that'll not be quite as much work as it was at the beginning. I think I'm getting into a groove.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, so
Yeah,
Haunted Grounds
I'm gonna call
continuing.
out some of these monsters. Some of these monsters better step up their game, like this RoboCat and Squeaky fellow. My goodness, man, dude, I see little X's nowhere. Like,
Yeah,
oh
few here and
man,
there. Yeah, our before we, I know we've talked some tonight about the slower pace in the LNL, but there is also the crossover collision event that is coming up that I am pretty excited about. It will take place on July 23rd, and there will be a major update this cycle.
oh,
So a little teaser there. There will be a
now,
significant update this cycle.
oh my goodness. I mean, now I know the last crossover had more than one league. Are we looking
Correct.
in that same direction?
Excellent question, but I'm gonna leave people wondering who's gonna be competing in there. I will tell you off air, sir.
Awesome. Well, no, you know what? I'm gonna hold my, yeah, no, I'm gonna wait like everybody else, be a part of, the reveal with everybody on air.
Yeah.
Oh man, awesome.
Oh man.
Crossover collision, it's coming. Watch out.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. So the only other thing I had is that I did want to mention, um, and it's totally cool. Things ebb and flow, but our cards were down uh, some this cycle, and I think there were a couple reasons why, and these things happen. It's not a huge deal. I do, and what I want to flip this to then is hopefully those go back up this cycle, but also I want to commend everybody and say how awesome it was that the LNL had 17 straight cycles in the top 10.
Whew.
So we finally dipped out of the top 10, but 17 cycles in a row, climbing as high as number 3. I couldn't be more thrilled. I mean, that's awesome. That's an entire year. That's an entire IWA year in the top 10. So
Nice.
hopefully, wherever our cards land, it's safely above, 50. So we keep that elite status. Top 10 is always great. But just a, a hopefully not final thank you to everybody who, made the LNL what it is today and how we spent an entire year in the top 10. That's pretty incredible, I think.
Oh
So,
yeah, that's definitely one of those. You know, I guess a lot of managers seek that type of accomplishment. To have that. Play in one of the best leagues.
yeah.
You're in the top 10. You're competing for the elites. You're competing for all those top titles up there anyway. So yeah, definitely. Like I said, like you said, hopefully not not a final goodbye, but we hope to keep everybody here, and hopefully the stories that we're going to talk about in the next show keep everybody around.
Yeah, there's some great stories. There's some really good stuff going on right now, and I think a lot of good preview going in. So, yeah, I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Nice. Commissioner, is it safe to sign this one off here?
I think it is safe to sign this one off.
Oh man, I can't wait to get into that trash talk edition. So, for Living Nightmare After Hours, you've been listening to Commissioner Anderson and myself, IWA Flip. We'll see you guys next time.